BYU defense?
Not at all.
No?
I mean, look at the ball.
Okay. I just thought I'd ask because that was obvious.
Yeah, I mean, it's, you know, the personal foul, the jumping off sides. I don't care who's coaching you. I don't care if it's Buddy Ryan or Manny Diaz. You got to stay on sides.
All right, 7th Texas penalty of the game. 1st and 10 for the Cougars. There's the play action out of the backfield. Elisa. And he's brought down by Acho. A 4-yard gain, 2nd and 6 coming up. BYU having a lot of success throwing to their backs out of the backfield.
And I know we're a long way from this thing being over, but how many things are Texas coaches going to be able to point to and say, missed assignments on offense, penalties on offense, penalties on defense that have just allowed BYU to keep drives alive?
Brian Correa, the lone back. To the short side of the field, complete. Number 18, the backup tight end, Richard Wilson, picks up 6.
I'm buying in on this Heaps guy. I'm buying in.
What impresses you most about him?
The ball comes out when it's supposed to, and it's accurate. Yes. You know, he's not the biggest guy. He's got plenty of arm. Don't think that because he's an undersized guy, he can't spin it, because he can. But the ball comes out on time, and it's accurate almost every time.
Luigi. Nice stop that time by Ashton Dorsey. Loss of a yard on the play. And getting back to Jake Heaps, you know, last season, he became the first BYU freshman to start a bowl game at quarterback and was MVP of the New Mexico Bowl. And he feels like he's got an even better grasp of the offense this year.
He had, you know, his quarterback coach last year, Brandon Doman, who's been there 7 years. So you have that relationship, and Doman going to a little more play action, a little more run, trying to get some easy throws for his quarterback.
And he can run and slide safely into the 20-yard line that time. Picks up about 2. So it'll be 3rd down coming up. They have mixed it up well in the run and pass game. And Brandon Doman, the offensive coordinator, seems to have a pretty good handle on stuff this week. The 11th play of the drive coming up. A defining point perhaps for Texas's defense here. Heaps complete. And a good tackle at the 16-yard line by Bindum. A gain of 6. It'll be short as Correa makes the catch on the play.
Texas defense hanging in there. There was great coverage. They had that bunch receiver set to the right. They were running some crosses and everything. Remember, they scored when they ran those cross routes down there, but that time no confusion at all by Texas secondary. Heaps had no choice but to come down to his fullback.
Sorensen going to line this one up from 32 yards out. He's already connected on 2 tonight from 30 and 33. And he is true once again. 3 for 3 on the night, and BYU held to a field goal with a 6-point lead when we come back. Welcome back, everyone, and now let's take a look at our FaceTime profile, brought to you by Edward Jones, the one-time ESPN production assistant and studio production assistant. Manny Diaz, now the defensive coordinator for Texas, former coach at North Carolina State, Middle Tennessee, and then as recently as last year, really did a great job at Mississippi State, and he took the job quickly here, within days.
A little intense right now. I think they played pretty well. I mean, they gave up some yardage there, but you know, last week we were talking to him about his time at Middle Tennessee State. When he left NC State, said obviously you don't quite have the athletes there, and he said that's where I used my communication degree from Florida State, which got him into the business at ESPN, and I learned how to coach in shorter sentences because we wanted to put in a lot, but we had to be able to communicate short, crisp sentences, and he says I've brought that forward to Mississippi State and now Texas.
Here's Marquise Goodwin with that world-class speed. Goodwin all the way out to the 41-yard line. And a tackle made by the kicker, Justin Sorensen.
Goodwin, who just came back Monday, was going to redshirt this year, getting ready for the Olympics next summer in London. He won in July. He won the U.S. track championship in the long jump with a personal best 27 feet 4 inches, and he's going to catch a little grief that he got tackled by the kicker. Promise you that.
Case McCoy in at quarterback. Rotating quarterbacks between David Ash and Case McCoy. Little fly sweep to Goodwin, trying to get to the edge. And he's chopped down at about the 42-yard line, a gain of 3 as we head back to the studio for this update brought to you by Taco Bell.
All right, let's check in on Michigan and Notre Dame. Second quarter, Michigan down 14-zip. Denard Robinson finds Junior Hemingway 43 yards. Watch him reach for the pylon. They reviewed it, gave him a touchdown. Michigan's back in it, 14-7, 9 minutes to play. That game over on ESPN.
Right back here, Ashton at quarterback keeps it on the decide option, and a first down run. Boy, this Texas offense looks totally different in the third quarter. A pickup of 14, Ed.
Give the coaches a lot of credit. There was a lot of confusion in that first half. A lot of guys that seemed like they were just running to the same spots as receivers, and now it looks like they found something with that a ride. It's kind of a ride read option where the quarterback and the running back are going towards the same direction. BYU's run it a couple times, and now it seems like a play Texas may keep.
Here's Malcolm Brown, and Ash keeps it himself. Boy, deceptive ball handling had me fooled on that one.
And now is a place where you've set up the play action. Now I think you've got a couple of positive runs. You leave Ash in there. You don't bring Case McCoy. To me, this feels like one. The young man has a really good arm. I think this is one where wouldn't be surprised if Harsin dials up the play action and tries a long one to either Mike Davis or maybe Jackson Shipley.
Davis had a couple of 50-yard plus catches last week in the win against Rice. I've yet to hear from him tonight. Ash keeps it himself and picks up about 2. Under 3 minutes to play here in the third quarter. Texas down by 6. A team that last year went 5-7. Remember, hey, 2 years ago they played in the national championship game, and Mac Brown even admitted to us last week when we were here that he didn't see the 5-7 coming. But they have retooled themselves on the field and on the sidelines, brick by brick. That's their mantra this year. 3rd and 4. Whitaker with the fake, and Ash keeps it himself. That's going to be short of the first down. Now, what do? You're in a good part of the field. Do you consider going for it?
Yes, you do. I think you're right at the number. Ash should have pitched that ball. I think they easily pick it up. He got a little greedy there, but I do think, and now you bring in Case McCoy. To me, I think McCoy's a good enough athlete. I think move him out of the pocket towards the receiver side. Give him 2 or 3 options layered to the side that he's rolling because he has the ability to pull it down and pick up the first down. I think this is the right call.
McCoy out of the shotgun on 4th and 4. And Texas uses its first timeout. Mac Brown didn't see what he wanted to see out there, perhaps, and signaled for the timeout. You know, we talked about last year the 5-7, and coming off of that deflating loss in the championship game, losing their starting quarterback early in the game.
Series,
the first series, and bigger than that, and bigger in life, bigger than that, Mac Brown losing his mother 23 days after losing to Alabama, and that really kind of set things tumbling in the wrong direction before they're able to corral it again.
Give him all the credit in the world, though. Very loyal guy. Had to make some tough decisions. Some of the coaches that were changed were ready for retirement. They've been around for a long time. I think too much was made that, oh, he fired. No, that's not what happened. There was a lot of guys that were ready to ride off into the sunset and be retired, but give him a lot of credit. He went out. And of course, you're at a place where you can get top-notch coaches, but I think these coaches were really good hires.
4th and 4. McCoy's going to pass. Nobody open, and he finds his receiver. Grant close to the first down, and he'll get it. A 5-yard gain, and Case McCoy perhaps with the game's defining moment so far.
And watch Grant here. He's going to work in and then work out when there is pressure. This is just a really good job. It's not open, but Grant stays alive. You mirror your quarterback. If you're the short guy, one guy goes long, another guy mirrors. Give DJ Grant a lot of credit for staying alive, and McCoy did a nice job to get outside the pocket.
Ash back in the ball game. They set up the screen. Whitaker had a blocker in front of him. Breaks a tackle. And Fozzie Whitaker with a nice gain of about 9. It'll be second and short.
And that was Spencer Hadley on the tackle there. If he doesn't make that tackle, Hadley in for the injured Brandon Ogletree. Suffered a slight concussion last week. Unfortunately for Ogletree, he's from Texas, not able to play today. But if he doesn't make that tackle, I'm not so sure that Whitaker's not celebrating 6 points right now.
A direct snap perhaps here for Fozzie Whitaker. He's going to take the snap. Keeps it himself. And not much going on. Maybe got a yard, but just enough for the first down.
Very clean so far offensively for Texas.
They seem a lot more confident.
They do. It just seems they seem calmer. The personnel going in and out, you know, it's something that Mac Brown talked about. He's been amazed at how well these, especially they have so many young players at receiver and running back, how well Brian Harson's been able, and his entire staff, Major Applewhite, all of them, been able to get these personnel groupings in and out. Didn't look good in the first half, looked really smooth in the second.
Case McCoy under the center at quarterback, hands it off to Malcolm Brown. And Brown tripped up for a loss on the play. Ronnie Fanupo makes the stop. Those guys up front working hard for BYU. Funga, Rowley, and Manu Maleuna.
And that's Van Gupo, the transfer from USC, a guy who was dominant through fall camp. A senior, just became eligible. And looks like he maybe just got the wind knocked out of him.
For those 300-pounders, you can lose a few pounds during a 90-degree day, hot Texas night like this. 3 quarters in the books. Texas threatening, trying to make a comeback. Back with the 4th period after this. Under the lights at Texas Memorial Stadium, BYU leading by 6, but Texas threatening, moving the ball right here. It's been a very tumultuous night for the Longhorns offensively. Garrett Gilbert struggled, was pulled in the first half, and now Case McCoy, David Ash at quarterback, handling the duties. This is McCoy on the receiver screen to Goodwin. And Marquise Goodwin, who didn't play last week, making an impact here in the 3rd quarter. Picks up 7.
Mason Walters, the left guard. This took forever to develop. As a matter of fact, when it was first thrown, I thought, are they going to get anybody out there to block? Excuse me. It was the left guard David Snow, not the right guard Mason Walters, but he gets a nice block out there.
3rd and 4 coming up. Malcolm Brown in at tailback. Brown gets the call. Going to be close, but not quite enough for the first down. Pendleton making the stop. They went for it on 4th down last time. Here early in the 4th quarter, you thinking field goal?
The way your defense is playing, I think you can kick the field goal. But I don't, it looks like they're going to go for, well, no. Yeah, they're going to go for it. They brought their big people in, but I don't mind this call. But don't get fancy. Do not try to do something where there's misdirection or anything like that. Just get on an edge and get your big bodies pushing forward.
Well, one of those big bodies, Cody Johnson in at tailback out of the offset eye. They run the ISO lead. Oh, he was met, and I'm not sure that he got there. Let's look at the spot.
Boy, he sure didn't.
I don't think he made it. They're going to measure. Not sure that he got there.
I don't mind the decision